Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Goblin Slayer TRPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this role-playing game based on the popular fantasy series, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about spell casting classes. Sorcerers, priests, dragon priests, and shamans make up the 4 spellcasting classes. These classes aren't great at handling weapons. In exchange, they use the power of magic in the form of spells to produce all manner of mysterious phenomena. Each of the spellcasting classes differs in its inclinations and what types of spells it can use. These varieties of magic and inclinations are called spell systems. The class and spell system pairings are as follows. Sorcerers use words of true power spells. Priests use miracles. Dragon priests use ancestral dragon arts. And shamans use spirit arts. If and when you acquire a spellcasting class, you can learn a number of spells from that class's spell system equal to that class's level. First, we have the Sorcerer. This spellcasting class can use spells that involve chanting words of true power that alter the world's rules. Sorcerers possess spells that can directly attack enemies as well as strengthen their allies. They can also use spells for useful tasks, such as lighting torches. They tend to be scholarly, so they have a broad range of knowledge as well. So the Sorcerer spell system is words of true power as indicated. The main checks of the Sorcerer are spell use checks and spell maintenance checks for words of true power spells, monster knowledge checks, research checks, magic knowledge checks, and meditation checks. Your important ability score is intelligence. You are not proficient in the use of any weapon. As explained in a previous part, this means that you can use any weapon but at a disadvantage. However, you can wear light armor and shields. Then we have the priest. This spellcasting class can gain the power of the gods by staying faithful to them and offering up prayers, enabling them to use miracles. They are mainly geared towards healing and support. Priests must choose one faith: the Supreme God, the Earth Mother, the Valkyrie, the Trade God, or the God of Knowledge. They cannot worship multiple deities. Thus, any character who has acquired Priest cannot acquire Dragon Priest, which worships ancestral dragons. The Priest's spell system consists of miracles. When it comes to your main checks, you are going to be making spell use checks and spell maintenance checks for miracles, first aid checks, monster knowledge checks, worship checks, theology checks, knowledge checks related to the chosen god. Your important ability score is Psych. You are not proficient in the use of weapons, but you can wear all armor and shields. Next we have the Dragon Priest. Offering their faith to the fearsome Naga, said to be the ancestor of all lizardmen, this spellcasting class calls upon their power to use ancestral dragon arts. Even those who are not lizardmen may acquire Dragon Priest as long as they worship the fearsome Naga. However, a character cannot worship ancestral dragons and a god at the same time, as indicated earlier. So any character who has acquired Dragon Priest cannot acquire Priest. Your spell system consists of ancestral dragon arts, as mentioned. When it comes to your main checks, you're going to be making spell use checks and spell maintenance checks for ancestral dragon arts, first aid checks, monster knowledge checks, worship checks, psych resistance checks, theology checks, and intelligence checks. Your important ability scores are Psych and Focus. You are not proficient in the use of weapons, but you can wear all armor and shields. When it comes to Shaman, this is a spellcasting class that borrows strength from spirits, which permeate the four-cornered world, to use what is known as spirit arts. They can use many elemental earth, water, fire and wind spells, and are said to be sharp of wit. It's thought this is because spirits warn them of things. When it comes to your spell system, it's spirit arts. When it comes to your checks, you're going to be making spell use checks and spell maintenance checks for spirit arts, monster knowledge checks, sixth sense checks, meditation checks as well. Your important ability scores are Psych and Intelligence. You are not proficient in the use of any weapons like the other classes. When it comes to your armor, you can wear light armor and shields. It's a pretty good thing that at the end of this subsection, they include tips on how to choose character classes. This concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to continue with the character creation process. When it comes to the Sorcerer, I think this is a very versatile spellcasting class. You have spells for damage dealing, for utility, to boost the power of the party of adventurers. The only thing in which you are lacking is in the area of healing. There are some protection spells, but you definitely want to leave healing and protection to the priest in the party. Now, priests are completely focused on healing and protection, of course. They have some smiting spells at the ready as well, but their expertise lies in strengthening and protecting and healing all of the members of the party. But you do have a bit of flexibility depending on your patron god. Now, in the case of the Dragon Priest, you feel like a battle cleric. Many of your spells are focused on strengthening you, allowing you to deal more damage, creating the Dragon Tooth Warrior that is quite popular in the fantasy series. So you're going to be in the front line, but because you are not very proficient when it comes to melee combat compared to the fighter type classes, sometimes you're going to step back to support using spells. Now the Shaman, this one feels a bit like a druid. You're going to be using a lot of spells related to natural damage and elemental damage, but your strength, in my opinion, is the way in which you can bypass or overcome different obstacles along the way. You have spells of invisibility, walking on water and such. Thank you for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.